more. The latest for you now this Sunday evening with the ITV News.
History for Team GB at the Winter Olympics. Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale win Britain's first ever mixed snowboard cross title. Also on the programme, the remarkable bravery of sexual abuse survivor Giselle Pellico, who shares her story of strength and hope. Health officials warn about a fast-spreading measles outbreak in London, and 15 years on the doorstep of number 10, Downing Street's chief mouser marks a milestone with some extra treats.
This is ITV News with Shehab.
Good evening. It has been an unprecedented day in the Winter Olympics for Team GB, who doubled their medal total with another gold. Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale got the top spot in mixed team snowboard cross in what is Great Britain's first ever gold medal on snow. The pair were crowned champions in Georgia in 2023, but they've now etched their names into history in Italy. Chris Scudder was watching as they defied the odds.
Great Britain goes wild for gold!
Joy among the British contingent and a glorious moment for the 30-year-old who competed for France in both 2014 and 2018. But since switching allegiance to Britain, she has not looked back alongside an overjoyed Hugh Nightingale. The pair were world champions 3 years ago, now history makers as Britain's very first Olympic champions on snow. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
That historic gold lifts Team GB up to 14th in the medals table. It's the first time Great Britain will come home with more than one gold from the Winter Games, after Matt Weston also secured top prize in the skeleton. Hosts Italy are in second place with 8 golds, their best haul for a Winter Olympics, but it is Norway at the top of the table with 11 gold medals. Giselle Pellico has opened up about the details of the decade-long ordeal she endured. She has become an international symbol of defiance and bravery after she survived unimaginable and the most horrific of crimes. Giselle was drugged and raped by her ex-husband and sexually assaulted by many other men. There are some distressing details in our report from Phil Syme, who has her story of strength and hope.
The horror which was inflicted upon Giselle Pellico is matched only by her heroism. For a decade, she was raped by her husband and abused by men he found online, all while being drugged with sleeping pills.
I couldn't remember that I'd been to the hairdresser. It was only the next day that I realized I had. And when I called my children, it was the same. I didn't remember our conversations. I thought I was seriously ill.
Dominique Pellico déclaré.
His sick crimes were brought to the attention of France and the world by Giselle Pellico's decision to waive her right to anonymity, showing her face in court while those accused of abusing her hid theirs. Among them, a nurse, a plumber, a grandfather.
Victims always feel shame about what happened to them. I told myself that if I opened the closed-door proceedings, the shame would change sides.
And she wasn't alone. She became a figurehead in the fight against sexual abuse, starting a conversation around consent. Her path to justice, lined by those inspired by her courage.
I was always wondering what my mission on earth was, why I had been born. Some are painters, some are poets, others are writers. I think my mission was to give others hope, that even after hardship, you can rise again and choose happiness. I think that was my mission.
Giselle Pellico says she cannot find forgiveness for the man she once loved. Beginning a new relationship, though, she has found a way to love again. Philip Syme, ITV News.
The Foreign Secretary has suggested new sanctions against Russia after the Kremlin was blamed for poisoning Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The UK and its allies found that Navalny's death was caused by a dart frog toxin found in South America. Russia has dismissed the announcement as feeble-mindedness of Western fabulists. And a man has died after he entered floodwater during a police chase in South Derbyshire. Officers had been pursuing a vehicle towing a caravan that they believed to have been stolen. A number of children in North London have needed hospital treatment after a fast-spreading measles outbreak. The UK Health Security Agency has reported 34 confirmed cases, but more than 60 are suspected overall. Parents are being urged to ensure that children are up to date with immunisations, as worries mount about suspected cases in schools and nurseries. Mahathir Pasha reports from the hotspot in Enfield.
At this borough in North London, there is concern. 7 schools and a nursery have reported more than 60 suspected cases of a highly contagious viral illness, which recently the UK was considered as being free from.
We've received an email from my younger one's school. They said there's an outbreak of measles.
Of course, I'm worried. I got kids and they goes to school.
Measles can start out like a cold before bringing on a rash. Normally, the condition clears up within 7 to 10 days. However, in some serious cases, it can lead to blindness and seizures, and rarely, death. Authorities in the borough are on high alert.
Yeah, there are no real borders on things like this. You know, if you don't get it sorted, eventually, you run the risk of it spreading. And it's so preventable, we can stop it by getting vaccinated. That is the only way to stop the spread.
The issue here is a low uptake. The latest data shows only 65.8% of children under 5 in Enfield have the measles, mumps and rubella inoculations. That is lower than the 83.9% in England. The World Health Organization recommends at least 95% of children should receive both doses of the jab to achieve herd immunity.
There is a huge amount of inaccurate information relating to measles vaccine, the MMR. We know that the vaccination is safe. In the UK alone, since 1988, it's prevented about 20 million cases of measles and about 4,500 deaths.
The borough is ramping up its vaccination drive, and the government is expected to launch a campaign next week to counter vaccine scepticism. But with measles cases on the rise, authorities will need to act fast. Mahathir Pasha, ITV News.
Football now, and Championship side Birmingham City pushed Premier League leads all the way in the 4th round of the FA Cup. It finished 1-1 at the end of extra time, but it was the Yorkshiremen who got the job done on penalties. Elsewhere, Premier League strugglers Wolves inched past League Two's Grimsby Town in challenging conditions due to the torrential rain. They secured a 1-0 win and moved into the 5th round. In rugby, France have thrashed Wales 52 points to 12 to maintain their Six Nations Grand Slam hopes.
Gives it on to Jalibert. Oh, Anti-Sogby is on mark. Can he claim it? Of course he can.
The impressive French ran in 8 tries in Cardiff to claim a bonus point victory. The win puts them at the top of the table at the end of round 2, while Wales sit rock bottom and haven't won a Six Nations game since 2023. And finally, there is one resident of 10 Downing Street that has stayed the same for the last 15 years. Larry the cat was first brought in to clean out rats, and since then he's gone on to achieve worldwide fame. The chief mouser is now celebrating a milestone, one that some of the other famous faces who've lived in number 10 might be envious of. Shehab reports.
A video posted by Downing Street to celebrate 15 years of Larry the cat. From David Cameron to Sir Keir Starmer, the unofficial first feline, Larry, has served at number 10 Downing Street under 6 Prime Ministers and today celebrates 15 years. Dubbed as the official chief mouser, Larry swapped life as a stray for the corridors of power in 2011, when the then Prime Minister David Cameron adopted him from Battersea Dogs and Cats Home. He's rubbed shoulders with world leaders, becoming somewhat of a seasonal diplomat at the famous Black Door.
Larry the Cat, also known as Number 10's Chief Mouser.
And today he was celebrated from as far as India and Australia.
You can't not love Larry.
But it's his skills as a top mice catcher that meant he could stay even after his owner David Cameron moved on. In these turbulent political times, Britain's most enduring Downing Street figure doesn't give interviews, doesn't take sides, and refuses to be told where to sit. Shehab, ITV News.
And that's all for now. I'll be back with the late news at 10. Bye-bye for now.